Hi, and welcome to the Selected Tech podcast, brought to you by a group of 4 MVPs doing webinars, sessions, and interviews on all things SharePoint, Office 365, and the Microsoft AI ecosystem. Their motto is learn, share, reuse. And here they are, Albert Jan, Rick, Stephan, and Tommy.
So, hi, good evening all. Welcome to another episode of Selected Tech. Tonight we're going to walk you through the application insights that you get with Azure and how you can actually get some insights in how your bot is behavior. So let's say you've built a chatbot like we've done in a few samples already, and we're going to have a quick look at what you can actually retrieve from your application insights, building dashboards with that, and see how you can actually, manage or get insights in what's happening, and then maybe tweak your knowledge base or tweak your code based on what's actually happening. So Stephan actually built a really nice sample. He already blogged about how to do that, but tonight we're going to walk you through setting up a dashboard, making sure you have all the queries and all the data that you need, and then wrapping it up by providing you with a nice dashboard, getting insights into your bot. Stephan, take it away.
Thanks, man. So let's start off by going through the queries before we start digging into the code. So what I've done, actually, I have hooked up my QnA bot to application insights, and I have basically set up the connection between the bot and the app insights. And then from that point on, you could basically use application insights, and it's not exactly SQL, but it's a SQL-like query language to query the data which sits within your application insights service. So as you can see,
what you need to do is to share your screen.
Yeah. I thought I shared my screen.
No.
Now I share my screen.
There it is.
Yep,
There it is,
perfect.
okay.
There we are.
Thanks, teams. So from within App Insights, you have a lot of tables you can query. And when you hook up your bot to your application insights service, you have to basically use or make use of the it's called the custom events table in there, as you have a lot of data then stored within the custom events. So if you want to just have a look at what actually sits within your custom events, you can basically just click on the eye icon and then get a glance on which kind of activities or logs are sitting in there. So you see you got a lot of bot messages received, bot messages sent, QnA messages, activities, so you can basically log everything which goes in and comes out from your bot and to your bot to App Insights. And what I've done is I have prepared 3 sample queries, which are all basically arranged around the QnA Maker use case. So first of all, the first query actually deals with the number of users who are using the bot. So if I just run that query, I'll get a time chart saying or indicating how many users at which day of the last couple of weeks or months have actually used my bot. So I can track that down. As we see, it's a demo bot, so not much of users are using it, but you can basically get a glance how many users are actively using your bot, and then you can also enhance that by, let's say, filter it or group it by channels. So if you have your bot deployed to Teams and web chat, you can make a drill down chart saying how many users are using your bot in Teams, how many are using it in web chat, and so on and so forth, to build like custom dashboards with that. The second query deals with the QnA results. So let's imagine we have the QnA Knowledge space, and we want to track down which questions have been asked and which answers have been provided by the bot. We could do so by just using a query like that, indicating the user's question and the answer the bot gave. And especially helpful, and I guess Appie will show us a bit of details afterwards as well, is the questions which have not been answered by our bot or by the QnA Maker knowledge base. So every time we get no QnA answer matched or no QnA Maker answer found, we could basically then forward those kind of questions to the let's call them content creators who are managing the knowledge base, to tell them, hey, those questions have not been answered by the QnA Maker knowledge base. Please take a look at it, if we would need to enhance the knowledge base. And the last sample query I have is a bit of enhancing that query by also integrating the user ID. So you could basically also get a glance on who has asked which kind of questions. So in my case, I just log in the Teams user ID, but you can basically log also the display name or what have you. So you can basically see who has asked which questions and then do some further investigations on that. But keep in mind to be like GDPR compliant, not store all the user information and details in your App Insights service without letting your users knowing that. So before actually sending those kind of sensitive data to your App Insights account, make sure your users are familiar with that. They know that these kind of information will be sent out for analytics purposes, to stay compliant. And if you basically just create your queries in there, what you can do with those kind of queries is to pin them to a dashboard by just clicking that little button up here, and then you could build beautiful dashboards within Azure directly, for instance, like this. So you can basically pin all your charts, all your tables in a beautiful dashboard, and make that dashboard available to, let's say, your content creators as well. So you don't need any kind of analytics software or Power BI or whatever. You can just do that right within Azure, pin your queries, your query results within your dashboards, and share your dashboards across your organization, so everyone gets the information they need. The code for it is rather easy. So what you actually would need to do is to register the whole telemetry stuff within your bot startup, ranging from the App Insights telemetry clients to there's in the SDK a telemetry logger middleware, which basically makes use of the whole connection between your bot and App Insights. So you don't need to configure the whole logic or develop the whole logic in your own. It's basically provided within the bot framework SDK. And then what you would need to do is to go into your within your demo QnA Maker dialog, as I called it, and within there you can basically use the App Insights properties and create your own properties as well to make sure that you send the data you want to your to your App Insights endpoint. So you can basically enhance what the bot framework SDK does for you and send certain unique properties or custom properties, as well as I've done it with the user question and with the username, because that's not implemented within the bot framework SDK telemetry middleware when it's shipped. So you can basically enhance that by sending your own properties and then use those kind of properties within your dashboard queries or App Insights queries. So setup is a matter of minutes, and you're good to go to collect and analyze your data, which comes from your bot and the user's behavior as well.
Yeah, and the even better thing is, if you don't need custom properties or custom events that you want to log, you can do it all without code. So you can just walk through the Azure portal, select the checkboxes that you will need, and we'll do that in a second, but that actually requires no code at all.
Yeah.
So the only reason you would need code is for custom events like the username, stuff like that.
Yeah, that's true.
And you could also, in line 33, where you add the username, you could hash the username as well, so that it's unique in your data. So you can say, okay, this was this user, but you have no clue who the actual user was. Because, okay, for questions, I get it sometimes that you want to know who the person was that actually asked the questions, but for GDPR matters, it's way better to have it in a way that there's no way that you can draw the line between the data entry and the actual person.
Yeah. Basically, it depends on the use case you have. If it's
Of
a
course.
company
Yeah.
only bot,
Yeah.
doesn't matter. But if you're providing it for a customer, you have to do that. Yeah.
Yeah, and then if your bot is running in multiple channels, you can imagine that you can log what channel the user is coming from, so you can
Yeah.
see, hey, it's being used in Teams versus it's being used in web chat or some other
Yeah.
channel.
Yeah. That's true. Yeah. So that's basically it.
Cool.
So
Did you try to
Let-
play with the parts where you get the information about where the user is coming from? Like that you get like country origin? Because when I tried to play with it the last couple of days, I always got like Ireland or Holland because the data centers are there.
Yeah. I haven't got the final information on that because it seems that it's the entry point of the of the Azure bot service. So it doesn't actually get the user entry point, but the service entry point,
Okay.
where the service is being used, or the data center which is being used to connect to the Azure bot service. So this would also mean if you want to implement that, you would need to do like the custom event data property and send that over to App Insights to make sure you get the user location or user origin.
Well, add that App Insights to your web page where the web chat is running, or to your Teams will be difficult, but
Teams will be difficult. Yeah, web chat is an easy one.
Cool.
So definitely makes sense. Let us quickly walk through what other options we have as well. So if I share my screen, then give me a second because it should show up. Let me know if you can see it.
Yeah.
Let me click away, Rick. So basically what you typically would have is you would have a app service that's running your bot. That's basically what you get. So if you do QnA Maker, if you deploy everything and you you don't want to write a single line of code, basically what you can do is you can go to your app service, and by default, if you deploy it, it doesn't have application insights connected to it. In my sample, it already has. But what you can do is you can just click the enable button, and that will ask you, do you want to extend an existing application inside database with your content, or do you want to create a new one? Basically, we just created a new one. And from that point in time, it will automatically capture already data that is being sent through or from your chatbot. So there's no code involved, but as you can see, you already get stuff like the field requests, the server response time, the amount of service requests. So that's something you get out of the box, and there's nothing you need to do about that. Now, what you can then do is you can go to your logs like Stephan just showed you, and there you can play around with the queries. And basically you can do queries like finding all the unanswered questions. Like if I would do this, let me select the last 7 days so I can actually get some demo content. Do run.
Yeah, you need to select the query. It's like in the SQL Server Management Studio.
I thought I already selected that. Sorry for that. So as you can see here, what I now get with this query is I do get the question and I do get the answer. So we didn't find an answer in the knowledge base. I get the knowledge base ID. That's basically all I get. But when you start thinking about it, this actually makes life really easy. I mean, we built a chatbot, we provided a knowledge base, but if you look at the question, apparently people are asking our chatbot for answer, or asking our chatbot for a chair, or what to do with their lives, test questions. So apparently we have to extend our knowledge base with some more chit chat. Now, we built this chatbot for our frequently asked questions around the corona measures that we've taken. So one of the questions is actually, I have a really bad chair at home. Can I pick up a chair at my workplace? So that's apparently where someone thought, oh, I can only ask for a chair. That should be enough. So when you start thinking about this, well, this is decent info, and we could put it on a dashboard or whatever. But one of the cool things is that you can actually get those queries and you can save those queries. And rather than just showing them on your dashboard, you can actually send notifications to people who are managing your your knowledge base. So what we actually did is we saved this rule and we created a new alert rule. Now, if I go to my activity log, if I would go back to my application insights, when I say I want to see all my rules, I can just go to my alert rules, and you will see that we've created actually 2, but we're only going to show you that one. Why is my alert rule not showing? Okay, that should be better. So we created an alert rule called missing answers, and that missing answers is actually the exact same query that we just saw. Then the only thing is we run it when there are more than 0 events, meaning that there is actually 1 missing answer found. And what we did is we just send an email to a bunch of people, and we run it like once every day, so once every 24 hours. Obviously, you can run it more, then it will take you maybe set you back like $1 instead of 50 cents. But for 50 cents, I get a daily report of missing answers. And the cool thing about that is that you just get an email saying, hey, alert notification, missing answers was raised for these resources. And, well, I can download the pictures, but you get the gist. So it was triggered. Apparently, there were 5 questions asked. You get the query, and you instantly get all the questions and the answers. Cool. So what you can actually do is send this email, because now I send this email to myself, but you can send it to the managers of your knowledge base. So your actual knowledge management people who are managing your knowledge base. They don't need to have access to stuff in Azure. They don't need to have any experience with Azure monitoring, dashboarding resources, whatever. You can just say, hey, you get your insights. And this is the questions, this is the set of answers, this is the score. And obviously, I now have a query that says I only want to do things with a score of 0. But you can also say anything that has a score between 0 and 0.3, like a really low confidence score. I want to add those as well. That's just tweaking your query because the information is there. So it's a really, really easy way to capture or get insights into your knowledge base. At least for us. And apparently someone asked for beer, so we should definitely provide an answer for that. But you get the gist.
I would expect no one in your tenant asks for wine, but that's another topic.
we all know what to do with wine. We'll just go to wine. The cool thing about those conditions and the actions that you can add, obviously, because it's action groups, you can add your custom actions. And now we do have a email option here, but you can do logic apps, Azure functions. You can even go as far as you think of it, for every missed question, use an Azure function or use a logic app to automatically add the question to your QnA Maker knowledge base, and then have someone add the answer and retrain the model for you, or maybe send an adaptive card asking an expert for a question and then filling it in your knowledge base. So there are quite a few options by just using these alert rules that you have from your application insights.
Cool.
So you can create something like a learning bot and then question bot, like the one that the guys or girls are using to ask the questions, and then with what you just mentioned, a logic apps triggering a queue or whatever, that another bot then asks a person, because based on her user profile or another algorithm that you decided he or she is a subject matter expert, here's the question, give it back, and then update the knowledge base with that.
Yeah, so obviously you can do that directly as well. So you could call directly your logic apps or your functions or your queue whenever an answer is missing. But if you have some other more complex process, you can use this because, well, this already checks for missing answers, and you can just extend your learning path with it.
Or you could create like a summary, like every Friday you grab all those questions that are not answered, and then send out an Excel file or create a SharePoint list or whatever.
Or you could say you just gather every Friday, gather the missing answers, block half an hour in someone's calendar who's identified as an expert, and within the body of that meeting, just say, hey, please answer those questions or follow up on those people because they had questions that aren't answered yet.
That's cool.
Yeah.
And you activate the application insights. This is on the web app of the QnA maker, right? Because if you create a QnA maker, it creates a web app behind it, and it's on that one. Okay.
So I can go to like I think I do have a chatbot in here. Let me quickly check.
Yeah, because you need a second web app to build a chatbot on. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And the second app instance as well.
Instance. Yeah. Would you connect to put them together? Those both app instances, app inside.
You can.
Yeah, you can. But what would you do? Would you put them together? Because it's a lot of mixed data then. And...
I would put them together.
Yeah. For demo purposes, I just created a new one.
It's a large table, so you can drop in the data you want and then just filter it out based on the queries.
So here you can see that for my QnA demo bot that I have here, then application insights are not turned on. You can just click on please turn it on, provide the location, and as soon as I click now on apply, everything gets created and we're good to go. So there's no code involved.
Actually, the only one I ever seen that uses the search in Azure.
Yeah.
I always scroll down. Where is it?
If I'm doing demos, I'm like, oh, where is it? Please. So I just try to use search because then you get like 3 hits, which I can differentiate between. Now, the last thing that really was interesting for me, so we built this chatbot as a demo purpose to just show you or show our internal organization what we can do with chatbots. And we deployed it to Teams, and we encountered that it wasn't working in the group chat in Teams. So I was like really confused why it wasn't working. And I called Stephan and Rick, and they were like, oh, yeah, there is this add thingy in the message, and you have to add some code. And we try to do it like a no-code solution. So what you can actually do is if you go to your chatbot, and if you go to your web app chatbot, there is this nice tab called Build. And within Build, it's kindly hidden. There's actually the online code editor. If you open that, you get like Visual Studio Code, VS Code online experience. And here you can just edit your code. And the cool thing about this, so let's say I want to change that. Here you can see I actually have to replace the @Portiva QnA bot. So it's no longer in the question sent to QnA maker. And obviously it should be done by a regex rather than just doing it like this. But for demo purposes, it works. Now, let's say I type this code in here. Then once I'm done, all I need to do is open the console. And as soon as I do the build, I think you can already see it here.
Build CMD.
Build CMD. So as soon as I type build CMD, it will do everything automatically for me and will build and deploy all the code that I've changed to my existing web app. So
that is the easy part about .NET Core.
so technically, yes, it is code, but having to add one line of TXT file in here somewhere, pressing build CMD actually makes life really easy. So for demo purposes and the sample bots that you want to get out there at a client doing a quick demo, then this is definitely a lifesaver. Because if you download the project in Visual Studio, you actually have to set up a publish profile and make sure that you're allowed to publish to Azure. And in here, it's just changing a file, doing the build CMD, and then you're done. So yeah, really awesome feature.
Yeah, but that's how the whole configuration thing works, right? It's like the project is there, and when you set up everything in QnA and then you click create the bot, they take the template, fill in your configuration steps, and deploy the application to your Azure instance.
Yeah, but if you download the bot source code, there's like 13 steps I need to do to both run it locally as well as to deploy it to Azure, which is really awesome if you're writing complex code. But for changing a single line, or maybe 2 or maybe 3, then this is definitely a better experience.
Absolutely.
Yeah, the only thing I hate nowadays is that you have to turn on the Teams channel. It's not activated by default. It cost me, I think, 2 hours last week.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah, for different bots, not just one bot, but I always forget it. It's like, why is this not working? I'm doing everything right, and then okay.
Yeah. Oh well, that's life. So, guess that's it for tonight, right?
Yeah.
Did we miss anything on the demos? Don't think so.
No, I don't think so.
The queries I mentioned are on my blog, so if anyone wants to use them, go to bizzer.io.
We'll make
Feel
sure to
free.
put them in the show notes.
Yep.
Yep.
And if you refine them or you create your own queries, then please let us know.
Yeah. Cool.
Okay, guys.
Yeah. Thanks. See you next time.
week.
See you next year. Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening. Make sure to check out the show notes at selectedtech.show to get all the mentioned references. And one more thing, please tweet about the podcast and give them a 5-star review. This really helps the guys a lot. Thank you and see you next time. Bye.